Momo.
Momo. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to
to
Momo.
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 Happy
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 birthday,
birthday,
dear
birthday,
dear
dear
Momo.
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 Happy
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 birthday
birthday
to
birthday
to Momo.
to Mama.
Momo.
What'd you wish for?
Maybe next expansion.
And welcome back, everyone. This is Nem, the Black Mage posing as a tank, and today we are in the mysteries of the universe wondering what is the meaning of life? But before that question, we have a special guest with us today. Please welcome Rhyme.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for being here, Rhyme. So, for the viewers at home, Rhyme, I believe you are the unofficial 10th man, so to speak, the permanent sub to the group. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate. I joined you once or twice.
Fantastic. That's at least twice or once, which is more than zero. So, congratulations on your
Well,
on
thank
your
you, thank
position.
you.
So, Rhyme, just for the viewers at home, what was your role in the static?
Well, usually I would fill in for tank for whenever one of your tanks happened to not show up that day. You'd come to me begging for help, and I, decided, I guess I can help him today. So, yeah, I progged with you for a little bit, and got some of the best, most productive prog I had progging tea with your group.
Oh, that's good to hear. We appreciate, the pity assistance for sure in these trying times,
Oh no, it was
because,
a great experience.
sometimes you just have these tanks, that are in different time zones and then they don't go through time zone changes and you do. It's a crazy world, honestly.
World's a big place. Lots of times, lots of places.
Lots of times, lots of places. Well, let's get straight to it here. We are meeting up in this void of darkness today for the sake of celebrating Momo T's birthday. Happy birthday, Momo
Hey,
T.
happy birthday, Momo.
So, I have a few questions for you here today. Firstly, do you have a favorite Momo T moment?
Oh, well, I think every moment's my favorite moment, but I've had to pick like a specific one. I think it was when you were doing BJCC, 'cause that was, I think, also my first time doing it, and she explained it very so well, in such like a um, easy to understand manner that I really appreciated, and she was very kind with answering any questions.
That sounds like her on a good day, but let's not let it go to her head. Uh,
Oh, of course, of course.
she's very toxic. We all
Yeah,
know.
it's her special
Very
day though.
toxic.
She can be a little toxic today.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, not that she would stop for any other day. Honestly, she's
Of course not.
on. To be honest, the point of this video is actually to overthrow her evil empire and put a. You got to lower her guard first. So
Right,
we'll
right. I
we'll
hope you're
see.
editing that out.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I'll edit that out. So, Ryan, as a friend of Zach and purveyor of many different statics and different types of content in the game, you said that you got some of your most prominent prog with our group, and that her explanations were helpful. Did anything else stick out to you during your time with us or with Momo in particular that kind of sticks in your memory?
Um, I noticed you guys are very good about like helping each other out. You had like a couple times where you like hit and rage and you're like, okay, how can we, improve that? A lot of statics that I've been in at least will kind of get in that situation and be like, oh well, unlucky, let's just keep trying, and then die in rage for like another 2 weeks. Um, but you guys were like really good about like helping each other improve, which I think is a really important thing for a static.
Hmm, that's really good to hear. I know that with our particular static, we had moments of expedited prog and then moments of getting stuck, and
Hmm.
I was pretty proud of everyone for honestly putting in a lot of effort. If there's one thing I can say, um, everyone actually did show up with effort, and they tried hard outside of raid 2, which I think made quite a massive difference, even when we did eventually get stuck on parts. Well, I appreciate
Hmm.
that, Rhyme. So I guess For you in particular, if you could leave any parting words for Momo T on her birthday, what would they be?
Oh, well, first of all, happy birthday. Yeah, I hear every day's your birthday, but I hope this one in particular is a very special birthday. I haven't gotten a chance to play with you a whole lot yet, and hopefully that'll change soon. But from my first impressions, you seem like a sweet and kind person, so I hope you enjoy your birthday.
Thank you, Rhyme. And for the viewers at home, don't be fooled. She's actually full of evil. But until next time, everyone, I'm Nem. I'll see you.
I had nothing else.
Good job. Good job.
That's all because Nem told us to shut the fuck up at the beginning.
Guys, I got the poetics. My goodness.
Oh, good. Good job, Rhyme. And we're back with the Nem Show, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are in Fairyland with the Shrub People. I'm your host, Nem, who is not a tree. And with us today we have a very special guest. Please welcome to the show, Zach.
Hello.
Welcome, Zach. Glad to have you here. Thanks for making your way out to Fairyland with the tree.
Glad to be here.
So, Zach, if I check my documentation here, hold on. Tree Man, can you throw me one of those oranges? No? Alright, that's fine. So if I check my documentation here, it says you were the singular melee DPS in the group. Is that right?
It is true. There was someone who was faking it, but we let him pass. We gave him a pass.
That is, listen. So we're here today to celebrate Momo T's birthday. Happy birthday, Momo T.
Happy birthday, Momo. It's your birthday.
It's actually her birthday. And so I just have some questions for you as part of this interview, if you're ready to go.
Sure.
All right, the first question is, what is your favorite Momo T moment?
Well, Momo was always very consistent in passing the Nisis, so I always liked passing them for Momo's birthday, in fact.
Are those times where you'd run into her and be like, "Happy birthday, Momo! I got you a
Yep,
Nisi."
every time I would pass it, it would be happy birthday, Momo.
I think she actually sent me a message about that one day where she was like, "This is great." Zach just keeps saying something every time he gives me the Nisi. I think she really appreciated that one for sure. I know that in the raid static, things were a little rough when we started, and we had a lot of roster changes. But there were some key players that remained consistent from the very beginning, like yourself and like Momo. Um, what was it like for you having some of those consistent players be there throughout, and then seeing as the permanent static members started to come in? Was it any different for you knowing that you had those previous players still there throughout?
Well, when I progged it in PF, the healing was always pretty rough, so, in this group I never had to do Bloodbath, for instance.
You never had to do Bloodbath?
I did second win once or twice just for some of the bigger hits, but I never had to do Bloodbath.
Wow, I didn't know that. Actually, that one of the things I'm learning from these interviews is quite a few things. One of the things Lala said was that his shields half the time are just completely wrong, and she just covers it, which I had no idea about as well. So, no Bloodbath. That's crazy, actually. Bloodbath, in case people don't know.
Unless we were behind on Alexander Prime during the very last Cruise Chaser and Brute Justice, I'd pop it there.
Yep.
If we had some deaths and it was kind of sketchy, but
so in case people don't know, Bloodbath is a life leech ability. You regain health for every attack, so it's not exactly a pre-mit. Sometimes it's a post-mit if you're gonna have some uptime and you just don't have anything else available. So that's pretty cool. I guess my next question for you is gonna be with sticking through the static and there being solid healing and stuff. In your experience, because you run a lot of content with a lot of groups, you know, how did our group in particular, and maybe even the experience around having the dynamic that we did with the jokes and the memes, how did that kind of set things apart for you, or did it set things apart for you?
yeah. So I've been in some statics that got pretty stressful at times, and there was none of that for the most part. I think maybe there was one night that was a little stressful, but other than that, it was pretty chill. And when we died, we just, shrugged it off and kept going. So it was nice to not get bogged down by criticism or because everyone made mistakes and some people were stronger in other areas than others, and it was fine. Um, I think with on the healing, we never had a healing issue, and I have been in groups where healing was the issue, and that can always be pretty stressful when it feels like you're playing right, but you're not staying alive anyway. So it was all pretty good.
Awesome.
And
That's good.
and given it's been an ultimate, it was my first static for an ultimate.
Was it
So
really? Oh.
I had PF UCOB and Uwu some, and a lot of statics on older content, coils through Eden, so not as much in with an
Awesome.
ultimate before.
It's always doable. So, one last question for you, Zach. I appreciate
Yep.
your time. Do you have any words to say to Momo on her birthday?
Well, of course, happy birthday, before the day, on the day, and after the day. And every day, really. I am glad that Nem did not grief you too much because you did survive the ultimate raid. And it was really fun to put in the lore into ChatGPT and see what it came up with. So I hope you enjoyed the stories that came out of that. Maybe I'll do another one if we raid again.
That was always really funny, honestly. Well, thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. And for everybody at home, you too can become a tree person just like in Majora's Mask by getting a cursed mask and then being doomed to die in 3 days by coming to Fairyland. But until next time, I'm Nem, and I'm signing off.
Well, Nem, do you have any final
Kinda.
words to say?
Yeah, final words for you bunch of hooligans that griefed me for months in a row. You guys are probably one of the best groups I've played with. I think we were slow to learn, so if anything going into your other groups, try to focus on self-study. We really struggled with actually taking self-studying seriously in a couple instances, and in other instances we excelled at it a lot. So just evening that out is an area of improvement and focusing on actually bringing a clean rotation to the table is an area we can improve in. But other than those two things, this is one of the best damn groups I've ever had. You guys are great. You're fun to play with. You guys stay positive. You don't give up when it sucked, and it did suck at points for everybody. And then you guys got your clear, and then multiple clears after that. So you guys were an honor to play with. I'm really thankful for the group that we had. So thanks for your hard work.
You know what
Thanks for the
relaxes me?
carry.
We got Momo 7 totems. I don't owe totems.
Yeah,
Ask
it
later.
really turned around when she got her relic weapon.
Oh my god.
And welcome back. I'm Nem, the blue milk drinker of the static, and here today with us on the show we have a very special guest. Please welcome to the show, Betty. Hi, Betty.
Hello, hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Betty. I feel like I'm having a little bit of deja vu here, almost like we've had this conversation once before, and I may have messed up the recording. Does that sound familiar to you?
It does. It does.
Huh.
We can just blame the space-time continuum for that.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea. If I remember correctly, we made some pretty great comments about the zone, the music, the skybox, and how this zone is really your zone, your favorite.
It really is my favorite zone. Ever since I played, the moment I saw it, I knew I was gonna love this area. So
Yeah, it's really great. It's definitely top tier. But today we're actually here on a special quest, not just a mere blue milk drinking opportunity. We're actually here to celebrate Momo T's birthday. So happy birthday to Momo T.
happy birthday, Swissie! I love you.
So I'm gonna ask you some questions and take it off from there. Let's just start by saying, what would be your favorite Momo T moment?
My favorite Momo team moment.
It's up to
Man, there's so many experiences I've had with her, with our rating and just doing our shenanigans all the time. You know, I can just pull different memories, just her her general attitude, I guess, towards doing everything. She's always there trying to make jokes, laughing with us whenever we're doing our rating. And there are times that she does get serious, but I mean, of course, we all have to get serious sometimes. Um, but but yeah, she's kind of just always the little bright star in the group. Whenever we're cracking jokes, she's right there with us and joining along with us, and she helps Prague go by just that much less. What's the word? How it gets tiring. It doesn't really get very tiring whenever I'm there talking with her or raiding with her.
Oh, that's really wonderful to hear. I think that we had that same experience actually in our T group with her. She was quiet for a while when she first joined, but as she warmed up to everyone, she really became a source of comedic relief, always um, griefing and trolling everyone and being sarcastic in order to kind of help us roll with the mistakes a little bit better. And it was just made things pleasant, kept everyone laughing.
On
So
our toes, absolutely.
absolutely. So let me ask you, you did P8S with Swissie way back before I even knew her. What was that like?
So it was a lot of organization, right? Trying to get everything where it needs to go. The P8S part itself, we rated. I think I started with them from P6 onwards, and I'd already cleared some of it. Um, I think I already cleared up to P8S at that point, but I joined their group as well because I wanted to be, I guess, a part of a more official group. So we kind of started from P6S and then P7, and then starting in P8S, it was definitely a lot of I guess working as a group. We were in chat a lot and talking about how we wanted to kind of proceed and where we want to go. The fights itself, I kind of, I guess, just remember learning about certain mechanics and kind of going through with that. But the biggest thing is that like I have like certain, I guess, memories of whatever a certain mechanic would go off. I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, Swissie's saying this, or there would be someone else in our group who would make a certain specific call out. But um, with Swissie in particular, she had started tanking for the first time. And normally she was a healer before that. I think last year she was a healer, and then she was a healer for a little bit for this tier, but swapped over to tank when we had the changes made when I had joined the static as well. And it was also a learning experience for her in that regard as well. So um, it was just, oh, it was great seeing new roles pop up. It was the first time I was playing melee. I was also a healer last year, and I was like, I want to try and do melee and work on doing it that way. And so I was learning new roles while also learning the savage tier. It made for lots of meme moments when I'd be fighting for uptime, and she'd also be trying to fight up for melee uptime, and we're trying to do all this fun uptime static stuff. And like normally wouldn't do that as healers as ranged. So
Oh, that sounds like it was really involved, which means you guys probably did quite a bit together. That's pretty awesome. What do you think? Um, it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but was she the static leader of the P8S static?
um yes, so she like kind of organized the static group. It was like her and then Bean as well, and so he was also doing like a lot of the call outs at that time. Um, but she definitely did a lot of the organization. She definitely worked on like getting the schedules down for everyone. She would get for everyone's schedule. She made a whole bunch of spreadsheets. I remember a lot of that she did. She put in a lot of work towards making sure that it was organized and that we had what we needed for it. She would also spend time helping people who maybe weren't quite as comfortable with certain parts of the fight. She would go through and be like, okay, well, let's go somewhere else and practice, outside of raid time. And we actually came here to Ultima Thule. There's a section here where there's like a huge arena that kind of looks like a regular raid arena, and we put markers down, and we kind of help someone with like, okay, this is this mechanic. Where are you going to go from here? If it's this, I think this particular one, I think it might have been for P7, if I remember correctly, where it was like, okay, this is coming out. Where are you running? Are you running to this marker? Are you running to this marker? Or maybe it was for Uwu, but yes, we had a spot here that I even remember us helping someone learn just because she wanted to put in that extra time to help them.
That's something I've noticed is that she does go the extra mile to make sure things are organized and that the appropriate resources are provided, that the opportunities for people to succeed are provided, which is really does make a huge benefit. I guess one final question for you, Betty, and I appreciate your time, but what would you say I guess to Swissie, just collecting all of that experience that you have with her and all of those things that you've accomplished together, what would you say to her on her birthday?
Her birthday, Swissie, I want you to know that all of the work that you do in general, not just for statics, but all the work that you do to help people, I definitely recognize and I appreciate. And it's helped me. You've become one of my favorite people to play this game with. And the way that you were almost completely selfless in helping others is something that I attach to very well and that I appreciate so much. I love you, Swissie.
That's probably the most genuine thing I've heard in pretty much all the interviews. There's been a lot of genuine, but that Betty was really beautiful to hear. Thank you. And welcome back, everybody. I'm Nem, the best black mage you maybe know, or not. This is the closing chapter, the closing section of our video. Thank you for sticking with it so long. I hope that the memes were fun. I hope the interviews were touching and silly. And ultimately, I hope that the objective of this mission, of this video, was met. I hope that, Swissie Miss, you have seen just how much you're loved and cared for and appreciated, how much of an impact you make on those around you, and I hope you have a happy birthday. Honestly, that's all anyone can ask for their birthday, right? So really, thank you so much for everything that you do. I can't tell you enough for myself how much you're my personal MVP. You know, my support. Leading that static was definitely challenging at times, and every time I wanted to maybe have more of an emotional response or kind of see things narrow-mindedly, you were always there to ground me and help lift me into a position so that I can help lift them into a position to succeed. And I think that the results of their personalities, their hard work, my leadership, and your support all kind of created this triumvirate where we had a really amazing raiding experience, and also support from our friends as well was key. Extra expert resources like Ashley and Boomy, friends like Rhyme, even being able to hang out and talk about tea with other friends and with the other tea static as well was really beneficial. So the overall experience, I think, is something that I personally treasure, and I hope that you do too. For everyone else watching, thank you, and hopefully you got something awesome out of this. This was a massive project. It took a lot of people and a lot of resources to make it happen, and I apologize that I'm no expert video maker. It's something I have picked up casually over the years, so I'm really not quite good at it. But hopefully this was sufficient, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And until next time, that's it for me. Take care.
I'm so excited to never play with any of you again. Whoa. I'm gonna say that out loud.